Welcome to the In the Trenches webinar. I'm really excited. I've got Trina Ellison here on the call with me. Trina has a lot of experience as an office manager, 25 years, and she works in a podiatry practice and is making exceptional right now. They're doing hundreds of new patients per month, 50 to 70 visits a day, 3 doctors going on 4, moving into a new building, just experiencing exceptional growth. And so for this In the Trenches webinar, I wanted to have someone come on that could lend some experience to how to grow a practice, how to acquire additional new patients. And Trina seemed like she'd be a great fit for that. So thanks for being here with me, Trina.
You're welcome.
All right. So, first things first, what everyone wants to know, what marketing channels that are currently providing you with the most new?
So I think probably we do a lot with referrals. We ask all of our patients for referrals, and we do a lot with, we use Weave to we send people texts when they come in so they can do a review. And I think that's really good because it just, it's always better to have somebody refer you to a doctor. And we do a lot, with Google reviews. We have a website that we really keep current and put new things on all the time. So I think that drives a lot of people to our website. We actually only advertise it's called Hometown Magazine, but I'm not sure that really generates that much. I think it gives exposure for like our new doctor, but most of it's in-house. We do a lot with Facebook and social media. We post every week on Instagram and show like surgeries that we've done and show progression of patients, and we put fun things on there as well. And so I think that has really helped. We have a lot of people following us on Facebook, so I think all of those things really help with referrals.
Awesome. I want to dig in a little bit there. So what I heard is mostly everything is either online marketing or referrals from in-house. Small business owners, they always try to generate referrals because referrals, like you said, are probably the best new patients you can get. They already have some trust in your practice because someone who they trust referred them. Are you simply asking? Do you have a script or a special time when you're asking? How does that whole system work?
So we have a couple of ways. So one thing we do is our MAs that bring back, she carries cards, and she'll just say to a patient that we know they've been in before, we'll ask them, we'll just say, the greatest compliment you can give Dr. Huff is if you would refer your friends. And we give them 3 cards and just say, if you know of anybody who could use our services, we'd love to have you refer them. Another thing we do is when a new patient gets done, as they come out, then our front desk asks them if they had a great experience, and if they did, they send them a review on Weave and they can review it. So we don't do the cards until, like they've been a patient for a little bit, but we always ask new patients. And then we also, a lot of times when patients come back, we'll say, hey, if we send you a text, can you give us a review? And while they're in the room, we just send them a text, and they just do it while they're waiting for the doctor. And so we get a lot of reviews that way.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I've worked with a lot of small businesses and in the medical and dental industries, and what it really boils down to, and what it sounds like you've got a really good system for, is making sure that it happens, right? Yeah. We all know we want more reviews. We all know we want more referrals, but sometimes, someone has a fear of asking for referrals or asking for reviews, and you're just getting it built into the system and making it commonplace. And that's generating, you said, about 10 new patients a day. So several hundred new patients a month, which is phenomenal. So,
I think the thing is we practice it in our staff meetings, asking for it. And we had somebody really good that she's just very enthusiastic about it, and she brings them back. And you know what I found is most patients actually love to give you a review because they love what's going on and they love to refer patients, and that's an easy way for them to do it. And so really, honestly and truly, we always say, Dr. House building right now, we've just brought a new doctor on, would you mind giving us a review? And I've never had anybody say no. So, and generally, if you send it while they're waiting in the room, waiting for the doctor, they'll do it. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's yeah. There's a lot to be said about that. Obviously, first things first, you want to make sure they are having a good experience. It sounds like
yes,
you're doing
for
a great
sure.
job with that.
For sure.
So from that point, it's really just letting them know that that's what you're wanting.
Yeah,
And I like one thing that you mentioned there. You're giving them a reason why it's helpful, right? You're saying
right.
we're building a new building, we're going to have extra capacity, those types of things. When someone has a reason to do something, and there's a lot of statistics that back this up, they're more likely to do it.
Yeah,
Um, there was a study that was done, and they actually just did it by having someone trying to. This is how old the study is, trying to get in line for a copy machine at the library, and they would ask the person in front of them, "Can I go in front of you?" And the success rate was in the mid 50s. And then the first they would say, I have 3 copies. Can I go in front of you? And the success rate was in the mid 50s, and then they would change the wording, and they would say, can I go in front of you because I only need to make 3 copies. So they're giving them a reason why they're asking to go in front of them, and the success rate skyrocketed up into the 90%. So
wow.
they said essentially the same thing, but gave them a reason why they wanted to go in front of them, and the success rate went a lot higher. It sounds like you're giving some really good reasons why you're asking people to refer and review. So, and then you also said practice it in staff meetings. I think that's a really, really great suggestion. So thanks
I
for that.
think I think also if you have a script, if people have a script that they can practice it a little bit, then it's very easy for them to become second nature.
Yes,
That's what we've found.
definitely, definitely scripting, practicing, giving them a reason. Yeah, there's a reason why your practice is succeeding at these things, and so that's really awesome. Thanks for walking us through that.
No
Um,
problem.
as far as your brand position goes, if I were to say, okay, Trina, how do you position your practice to your community? What's the image that you're trying to build? If if someone were to ask you why they should come to your practice, what's the answer that you give them there?
Because we have excellent doctors. And I totally have confidence in that. And, we have a brand of a foot that I think people recognize now. And, we have it on the front of our building, we have it different places. And I think they recognize that brand. We put on all of our advertising, it's on all of our cards. But, honestly and truly, I can confidently say we have the best practice. I mean, we have excellent doctors, excellent surgeons. We try and get everybody in within, at least 1 to 2 days. And I think that's really important is service is what is the most important thing to us.
Okay.
And we treat our patients so that they know that we love them and we care about them. And that's really, I think, the key to success is service. People want to know that you care about them, that you'll spend some time with them, that you have their best interests at heart. So,
So it sounds like the positioning is, we're going to take the best care of you that you'll be able to find, and
yeah,
you back that up by providing the best service that you can.
yes.
Awesome, awesome. Um, and then with COVID happening, a lot of changes happened. Things were shut down, and they weren't shut down.
Yeah.
A lot of small businesses kind of saw a rash of people scheduling and then not knowing whether they should show up or not showing up at all. Are you doing anything right now to make sure that someone who schedules a first appointment, who finds you online, reads your reviews, or gets a referral, to make sure that they actually end up in the office? Is there any communication that you're having there?
Yes, we do. So, actually, Weave has been really helpful with us for us because we send out texts, and in the text we put We put like we're seeing patients and wear a mask and, different things like that. We also have a portal that they get on and they can register all on the portal. So when they come in, they're not in the waiting room as long. They
Mhm.
can come in and we take them and we put this right in our text that we send out that we'll take them right back to a room. And so they have less exposure.
Mhm.
And so we really encourage our patients to wear masks to come in. I mean, we give them a mask if they don't have one. So it's a high priority for us. And I think Weave has been great at helping us do that because we just, even when a patient registers, we send them out a link that says, this is what we're doing. And then we send them a reminder one. And so they know exactly what's required of them. And we just emphasize when they call that if they'll get online and do the portal, then when they come in, we can just take them right back to a room so they don't have to sit in a waiting room. And I think that's a real advantage.
Definitely, definitely,
So,
and it ties them to your practice, right? When they've gone a little ways to make that appointment happen by going on that portal and filling in their information,
yes.
the likelihood that they end up no showing or canceling that appointment is a lot lower. So,
Yeah,
um,
we hardly have no shows whatsoever as far as
that's
that's concerned.
that's
So,
cool. And one thing that you mentioned is, you're sending them texts. You're letting them know how things are going to go when they get in. Um, from a consumer standpoint, if I'm almost expecting that from a local business anymore, when
yeah,
I schedule something, I'm kind of expecting them to tell me how things go. Is there a limit on the number of people that can be in the building? Do I come right in, or do I wait for you to text me? If someone doesn't send that to me, I'm kind of like, are you taking the right precautions, right? So, for anyone that's not utilizing two-way texting or that kind of communication with your patients, this is a great time to implement it because they're probably the same as I am, and they're expecting that. They're not going to be wondering why you sent them a text when it explains, hey, when you get here, text us, let us
yeah,
know. We'll let you know when to come in and we'll take you right back to the back. Now I know exactly why you sent me a text message. That opens a line of communication that, if you're just calling and talking to people, is not available to you. So that's awesome that you're also implementing that in your practice.
I
Um,
think the other thing is I think even when COVID is over, I think a lot of this will continue.
I
So,
I agree. I agree. And it should. When you
yeah,
open up a line of communication that makes things easier, that makes things clearer, that minimizes the confusion that your patients are having, it should stay. That
yeah.
so that's really awesome. As far as COVID goes, are those the main additional communications that you've implemented, or are there any other ones that you've implemented because of COVID?
We said, what? At first, we tried to cut back when we had COVID because we were trying to not see as many patients. It didn't work very good because we really have just continued about what we've done. But, we sent texts out to everybody saying, this is what our office is doing, and if you have an emergency, please call because we want to take care of that. But
Mhm.
if you have an appointment, we're going to reschedule you if it's just a maintenance appointment. We just have tried to keep them in the loop. We've done some emails. So we've sent out mass emails that just said, this is what's happening in our office all the way along so that they know.
Awesome. Awesome. That's super helpful. Like I said, I expect that from small businesses, from local businesses that I'm going into, to know, do I just come right in, or what's the protocol, right? So
Yeah.
that you're doing that is phenomenal. Okay. One of my favorite questions, and our last question. These are meant to be short, to be quick takeaways that someone can listen to, find some things that they can do, and go and implement it and make their practices better. Um, you've got a lot of experience as an office manager. If you got to take all that experience back and go to a doctor on day one who's just opening their clinic, who doesn't have the experience that you have, what recommendations would you give them, and what would how would you help them further their career more quickly?
For me, I think the key is service. It is whatever service you give, make it is the very best and that you treat that patient very well. People will even pay more if they feel somebody cares. And your best source of building your practice is pleasing your patients, making them feel like they were heard and helped, and they'll refer other people. It is the most important thing you can do.
Mhm.
And those people will refer other people. Take care of your patient, make them a priority, no matter how many patients you have. Because sometimes when you start building, it's hard, especially when you start that growth period. But always just treat them fair. That is where you're going to get the most referrals. Always, always, always. And social media is such a big deal now. And it's kind of a scary thing to get on and do that because you want to be professional. But don't be afraid, jump into it because I think the younger generation, that's where they find their information. That's where they look. I had somebody say yesterday, said, on Facebook, who would you suggest as a doctor for an ENT?
Mhm.
It was interesting when I looked at it. It was the same doctor I referred, but several people said that. And people are going to look at that. If the
Yeah,
same name is coming up, they're going to go to that doctor.
yeah,
So just treat your patient well.
definitely. I've done several of these in the trenches webinars now. We're doing them in each industry. So I've interviewed our top practices now in 5 industries, and it's so amazing that that is the crux of what a lot of these come down to is how your patients are feeling and how you're treating them. Are they feeling like a VIP when they leave? And a lot of times, we do what's called tripping over pennies or tripping over dollars to pick up pennies, where
Mhm.
we try to cut costs here and there to make the visit cost less for us. While if we just invested a little bit more in making that visit even better, it would go a lot further. So I like that that was focused as well. That's been founding among all these interviews that I've done.
Yeah, I agree. So,
Awesome. Well, Trina, I really, really appreciate your time.
uh,
Um, if,
thank you.
if you've listened to this and haven't figured something out that you can take away and help make your practice better, you've probably missed something. So go back through it. But again, really appreciate your time. Hope you'll tune in next time for our next In the Trenches webinar.
Thank you.